Welcome, beloved community, to The Portal is Open. I am Brother Jimmy with my co-pilot sister, Honey C. Golden, and we are so honored to be held in this sacred space with you today. Our theme today is The Fire is Rising, and it is illuminating your path. Is an invitation to feel the deep pause of your sovereign truth. As it begins to illuminate the path before you, not through effort, but through a calm inner knowing. If this message resonates with your heart, please take a moment to like this broadcast. Share it with someone who might benefit from this sacred energy. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel so you never miss these powerful gatherings. Sister Honey, what's going on with all this crazy energy? I actually just had an energy surge myself, as you know, we're doing something new where we're putting in some visuals, which is really exciting. I'm excited about it, but I got to get used to it a little bit. But this energy is off the chain. Can we talk about that? And then we've got a graphic to go through. So over to you, sister.
So last week we had huge coronal mass ejections, or whatever you call those. And the Schumann was crazy. And we had a lot of 3D stuff come up to the surface in a really crazy way. Lots of scamming, lots of angry people, lots of sick people. And we're moving out of that now a little bit. It feels a little bit calmer to me, but I feel like it's just the deep breath before another cycle of craziness. And there is a lot of beauty coming in, so do prepare for beauty, but that beauty could be beauty for the collective that doesn't look that beautiful as well. So we'll just kind of see what happens, but there's a lot of stuff that's prepping in the universe, and I can feel it, and all the planets are getting excited about what they're going to do. So
yeah, it's been interesting, to say the least. I've been doing massive amounts of grounding myself, and I've been watching, you know, my wife Cindy's doing much better today, but I had a front row seat to what she was going through, and it was massive energy hitting this planet. But I want to, again, folks, I'm getting used to these slides, so forgive me if I err in any way. Don't be kind to Brother Jimmy, please, and also to Sister Honey. But I want to show this slide that really gets into a lot of what is going on. Besides the sun, you know, machine gunning us, basically, like Tommy gunning us. Look at this, where we're at here. And then I want to get into the astrology side of it with the planets, and you talk about that, Sister Honey. But the numerology, we're a universal day 8, fire, abundance, and power. A lot of fire days so far this month. Many fire days, more than usual. And then universal month 6, heart, harmony, truth. And then we've got a double 1 initiation, new beginnings, sovereign leadership, number 11, master number. But look at this astrology, and we know Pluto is in Aquarius until about 2043 or 2044. But look at all of that, Sister Honey. You think that that has something to do with it, all of these planets? Is this like, when you read through this stuff, you know, it's like, what's going on? It's like everything that's going on is what these planets affect here on Earth.
yeah, there's what's called the hoop prophecy, and Kelly and I talk about it, in a show that comes out on Friday, the whole astrological breakdown. But the gist of it is there is huge change coming, and it's for the collective, and it's for the collective destiny. So we're in a massive change. And the planets, if you can remember that the planets they're beings, and they're pushing out certain kinds of energy for us, then you can see that they're ready for change to happen. And they're creating like this arc. And I would definitely watch that show too to try and understand it because it's kind of mind blowing what's going on right now. We're in a time of multiple prophecies right now.
at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, and again, I'm always going to say that it's relationship, not religion, because religion is indoctrination in most cases. Not that there's not a lot of good things that folks that are involved in religion do and have done, but when you look at these establishments over the thousands of years and you really dig deep, there's a lot of horrific things that have went on in the name of God. And I mean, even when you say the word God, it's such a small word, or universe, it's such a small word for the being that is everything's in it, it's in everything, it has no beginning, it has no ending, and nothing's outside of it. It's like what Sister Honey has said multiple times, we're like a cell in its body. And there's way more cells than we even have in this body. But it's so interesting. Manifestation is increasing rapidly. And we've got like 6 segments we're going to go through. Each one's going to be about 5 to 7 minutes. A lot of great information. You folks want to share this, pass it out there. You know, lots of people need help. I mean, a lot of people need help. And one of the things I've noticed also, Sister Honey, because I've seen you've been talking about the community even more, and I've noticed a lot of people have started to join even more people. And a lot of people got a lot of stuff going on. I mean, there's a lot of things happening in people's lives right now. And all of this stuff that's not there to serve them is some way coming to an ending.
Yeah. Yeah. We're in the point where we're splitting more. So a lot more people are passing right now. A lot more people are making their final choices about whether they want to be here or not. And the reason is that we've come into the soup of the 5th dimension. So that happened 2 weeks ago, I think. I made a show about it, but it happened not that long ago, and we kind of came over a wall and into this really beautiful area, but we can't absorb that 5th dimensional consciousness unless we let go of the old consciousness, the 3D consciousness. And we don't really have 4th dimensional consciousness unless you're kind of chaotic, because the 4th dimension is a bridge into the 5th. So we really are kind of in a deep letting go period. We're letting go of feeling like victims. We're letting go of feeling like we're not seen, like we're not worthy. Like those things have to go. And it's painful for a lot of people.
Well, you know, it's interesting because people get used to that pain. They literally get addicted to it, and they get addicted to what their physical body is doing chemically and keeping in that fight and flight mode, and they don't let it go. And a lot of things have come up this year for me. And, you know, I'm like everybody else, you know, sometimes you're holding on to something tighter than you should be holding on to it. And you have to realize that if you just let it go, what's coming besides that is powerful. It's big. It's magnificent. And all you're doing is really blocking where you're headed, where you want to go. You know, when you're holding on to this stuff, you're just blocking where you would go a lot faster if you just let this stuff go, because this stuff that you're holding on to, and me included in this, you know, I'm working on it. I've let a lot of stuff go, but I'm always working on letting other stuff go and optimizing my own life, you know, to make sure that everything that I'm doing is serving my higher purpose. And if anything isn't, I got to really look at it without any kind of stress or, you know, opinion or judgment or anything. Just look at it and say, well, this is not going to really work for me, for my higher purpose, and it's just going. And that's pretty much, you know, the way I've been working it. And some things repeat themselves because it's like we all procrastinate in life a little bit. And it's like, oh, well, yeah, I'll get to that, you know, a little bit later. And then it comes right back and smacks you in your face. So you're talking about there's the bridge between the third and fifth dimension. And the fifth dimension is where we want to get our mind hooked to more than in the third dimension so that we can do things that are going to serve our higher purpose to move us forward, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. That's where we're going. So, and we're in it. Like we're surrounded by it now. We're surrounded by that consciousness, but we haven't really let it in. So, as we let go of these things, so let's just take the scams, for example. I don't know how many people have had their email hacked, had their computer taken over, all kinds of crazy stuff. And they're all scams that we've seen before, but all of a sudden they just got really loud. And that's because the 3D is pulling away. And as it pulls away, it freaks out. And it's causing a lot of stress. And it's angry. A lot of that is anger at the 5D. The people that want to continue to go forward are getting, kind of bothered by a lot of this stuff. But also, they get the opportunity to say, we don't want it anymore. I don't accept that anymore. And I don't allow myself to be scammed anymore. And when they do that, it changes the dynamic. And it's almost like breaking a contract or cutting a cord. So when you do that, then you're allowing a piece to be opened up, a space to be open for more of the 5D or fifth dimension, for that consciousness to come in. So yes. That's what we're doing.
Yes, and that's why it's important. You all can see, folks, the stepintoyourpower.com underneath Sister Honey and my name here. And we're both founders of Step Into Your Power, along with my son, Tommy, who, by the way, if you haven't listened to this music that we have on the Step Into Your Power channel, it's incredible. I mean, I do my Tai Chi Gong in the morning for 30 minutes. I just repeat 144,000 awakening and A to Z to the soul. I just rotate those as I'm doing it, and I just feel it. I feel it in every cell of my being. I feel it. And this is what we need. We need to feel it. We need to embody it. And we're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about that. So stick around. Don't go anywhere, because Sister Honey's going to be dropping some serious knowledge on you. And Brother Jimmy will drop a little bit on you also. But stick around with us. We love you all very much. And any questions, like we're not answering questions right now live, but all you have to do is drop them into the comments. And I promise you, over the next week or so, because I am going to be traveling next week back into Austin from my beautiful place here in Las Terrenas, Dominican Republic. But I've been down here now, Sister Honey, for 4 weeks and about 10 days. I don't want to leave, but I got to go. But, we're going to really start sharing some really powerful additional stuff in the community too, that is helping people transform their lives. So, make sure you stick around and go in there and put any questions you have. I'll get to them. We'll get to them, and we'll make sure that we answer all those questions to help you all very much. So let's go talk about our first segment that we're going to get into. And that is feeling the subtle hum of emerging power. So you have some serious emerging power going on. Mother Earth, the core, is increasing its frequency. Father Sun, or whatever we want to call it, is blasting us like no tomorrow. And then your heart center is increasing in frequency. Talk a little bit about, because the gentle warmth, I put some talking points here. One of them is the gentle warmth of your own rising fire. People, and a deep inner, let me read through them. The gentle warmth of your own rising fire, a deeper inner knowing aligning with a new energetic beginning, which is a big problem for a lot of people because they don't know what to do with it. Receiving the energy of your emerging power and what is ready to be honored within you. Let's talk about those a little bit, Sister Honey, for the next 5 minutes, because I think that people are like afraid a little bit of what's happening. They don't know what to do with this, and they need to understand that their words now are manifesting. Like, I've never seen manifestation happening like this in my entire 61 years, this lifetime.
Yep. And that's fifth density. So, fifth density, fifth dimension. And it's increasing because some of us are absorbing a lot of that consciousness. And it's really hard. I will say it is really hard to do anything that's 3D. It feels very wrong in your body. So we're moving into a totally different kind of behavioral world. You know, our society is going to be a lot different and we're going to do things in flow. But right now, what's rising is that fire horse energy, and we create the world. So we're receiving that intense energy, and we have come out of the gate at this point. So if you think of a horse race, we've been released and we are running the race right now. And we are going to be learning huge things. And we're also going to be uncovering who we really are. And we're going to come deeper into our gifts. I don't know how many people have said, my sight is so much better. I can see, if I meditate, I can see right into the astral plane. I'm remembering all my dreams and they're like psychedelic or almost like a 3D movie, because everything in the astral plane is so much more crisp and almost hyper realistic compared to what we see here. And that's the genuine reality. That's where we come from. So everything is really amped up right now. And it's a little discombobulating is my new word. So if you're feeling a little off, it's because we're changing right now and there's nothing to be afraid of.
Right. And again, take it easy on yourself, love yourself. One of the things I'm going to be adding over the next couple days is the energy centers, chakras, whatever you want to call them. And there's more than these 7. Believe me, you got them in your fingers, multiples in your hand, your feet, your toes, not only in your physical body, but in your soul, your energy body. One of the things I've been adding to my daily affirmations, is reading affirmations for each energy center. Besides, I bless my energy centers and all of that. And it's interesting, after I got done with all of that, I'll do the blessing in the ocean when I'm here. And I go out there very early because it's my beach with the dogs, Brother Bruno and the dogs. And it's interesting you said about that Christmas, because I was doing some, blessing the energy centers or the chakras, and I was looking at the sun, because the sun in the morning is really, it's not burning your eyes, right? I was looking at the sun, doing some sun gazing. And then when I stopped, I looked around and everything was lit. Like you said, just what you just said right now. That's why I'm talking about this. It was so crisp. It was so blue. It was so beautiful. I got chills all through my body just seeing that. And, I feel that we're getting a glimpse of the real world more and more and more as we tune into it. Your thoughts on that, Sister Annie?
Yeah. All of your clairs will eventually come in, but right now it seems like the one that they started with has gotten really honed, and a couple more have started to come in. And there's a lot of ESP going on. I haven't heard of a whole lot of people moving things with their mind, but people do it quite a lot, and I've seen it. I haven't really tried too much to do that, but I'm seeing better. I'm knowing faster. I don't even ask, I just know, you know.
Yeah.
So things are very heightened right now. And I just learned about the Nexus body, which I thought was really exciting. So that's an organ that's connected to the pineal gland. And if you can detox those two bodies, the pineal and the nexus, and the nexus body is basically right where your divine spark sits. And it's a big center of your nervous system. It sends information out everywhere like an octopus. So, really working on your body, being kind to your body, and being kind to your psyche right now. You know, I'm doing something for myself right now that has to do with really paying attention to toxins and everything. And then I realized that I'm running around in these slippers that are so plastic, probably full of PFAs, probably terrible. And I completely didn't notice. I didn't even think about it, you know, and everything comes up through your feet. So I had to order new slippers and I'm not wearing them right now. But I mean, I would wear them half the day sometimes. And I'm like, oh, that's probably really bad. But don't pick on yourself. You know, I wanted to get mad at myself when I did that. And instead I said, okay, you were just distracted. Let it go. You figured it out. Right. Don't be hard on yourself.
You have to be an observer and not take it personally on yourself, because we're harder on ourselves than most people could ever be on us. And
Oh,
we
yeah.
just got to take it easy. With us, you got to love yourself. One of the things, again, I was telling you, I'll wake up, have my alarm go off, and then I'll lay in bed, about 30 minutes, and I'll just go through all these affirmations in my head and visualizations, because one of the things we'll be doing down here in Las Terrenas, and I know you're going to be doing that in Colorado, is putting together a whole spiritual community, a conscious community, of the community of light. And these things are going to be going up all around the world. There's a lot of people already, like, we're not the only people talking about this. There's a lot of other people that are now working on the when we say the new earth, we're talking about a whole new system of the way things are going to be running in the future, even though we're going to be going through the crumbling. And it's going to look pretty scary for a lot of people, and some people won't stay here at the other end of this thing. When Pluto gets out of Aquarius, and you can just go into Gemini or OpenAI, ChatGPT, whatever, Microsoft Copilot, and put in what has happened over the last 2,000 years when Pluto is in Aquarius. And it doesn't leave until 2043 again, or early 2044. The pillars of society shake and quake and are completely changed and transformed. And this time is bigger than all these other times in the history of this planet. There's never been a bigger time than this time. And it's exciting. And a lot of you folks that are watching right now, you're here to finish up. You really are here to finish up. A lot of people are here to finish business, meaning you've come back over and over again. Brother Jimmy's been here hundreds of times. You've come back over and over again, but you never got to finish what you set out to do. A lot of us are here to finish that. Talk about that. It's interesting because, growing up, and we'll get into the next segment, because I think we've touched pretty much everything on here. But growing up, when you're listening to your family's very indoctrinated, and they're saying, well, that's from the devil, reincarnation. And the only thing that started waking me up about reincarnation was when I met my wife, Cindy. And she went to school in Dominican Republic, and they got a lot more different information, like, about everything that we got in the United States. And she said, oh no, reincarnation's not bad. And then I started investigating, and Yahushua talked about it, and a lot of other people talked about it. And it makes common sense, because why would you have this very short one time? Think about the divine creator, unconditional love, unconditional forgiveness, and you got one time? And back in the day, people were living like 34 years. That was it. They were done. You know what I mean? Now we're up to, what's the average lifespan? 74. I just don't see it. It doesn't make any sense to me. And now that, I've been getting download past lives over the last few years, ever since 2020, this thing's accelerated for me like no tomorrow. I've always been spiritual for decades, but nothing like what's happened to me since 2020. And a lot of clarity is coming, and I spent a lot of time. But I think that a lot of folks in that are tied into some type of religion, and again, there's a lot of beautiful people that are doing a lot of great things in religion. I love everybody. I have no problem if you're doing harm to children and stuff. Brother Jimmy ain't gonna like you too well, okay, at all. But there's a big shift coming, Sister Honey, a big awakening coming in all of these indoctrination centers that are going on. I would think, and if you are starting to get downloads of your past life, put that in the comments. But how do you feel about that, Sister Honey? Because it feels like this is the time. This is the time that we're here to get this stuff done and finished up.
Yeah, we are. So my dad would talk about it when I was a little kid. And I've been hearing about ascension for my entire life, pretty much. And a lot of times I would just sit there and not really listen, because I didn't really want to. But I learned a lot at that point about the precession of the equinoxes, the Hopi prophecy, the end of the Mayan calendar. We actually moved to Colorado because they were still following, my parents were still following Edgar Cayce's idea that there was going to be a lot of things that were underwater. So we've known about this for a long time. And a lot of people felt like something big was going to happen in 2000 and 2012. And now we're in it. And you can see it. Like, you really don't have to look very far to figure it out anymore. And we've been here lifetime after lifetime, and a lot of us remember those lifetimes. And we've been basically preparing for this time and also trying to get it to happen earlier. So we've had many lifetimes where we joined together and we tried to get ascension to happen. And we've been foiled over and over and over again. And a lot of that is because there were certain beings that didn't want Earth. Earth became an addiction to them. The 3D became an addiction to them. And they wrote a lot of, they did a lot of the edits in the Bible. So a lot of those beings had to do with the edits that happened. They were in the governments, they were embodied in certain beings, certain people. I really feel like King James was one of them. Yeah. So that has to be seen. The rest of the information has to be seen. And it will be seen. And it's coming out in droves right now. So anybody that's on social media is seeing something that is the beginning of their awakening. But most of us have been awake for a long time. So we will be celebrating as Babylon falls, as the old world falls. And we'll feel good about it, and we'll know that everything will be fine. And we've been asking for it for a very long time. And then there'll be people who weren't prepared emotionally for that. And they'll either go or stay A lot of people, they'll be at their beginning of their awakening and they will stay. So just love yourself through the whole thing. Be kind to others around you, but don't let anybody drag you in the wrong direction either.
Yeah, and again, you're getting this additional power. Again, we talked about receiving the energy of your emerging power. It's happening.
Yeah.
Spend time. I heard somebody was talking about, oh, well, if you go ground more, if you go meditate more, that's really not going to help you with these energies. I don't believe that, because I do it and I can feel energy and I can feel it moving through my body, and I can actually sometimes sit here and meditate it. And I got it. You ever see Doctor Strange? I got it going around in a circle through my body. Okay, into my left hand, out through my right, and into a circle. So I feel energy really seriously. That's why I wear white cotton t-shirts, because I can't even wear different colors and different fabrics because of the energy that it puts out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I can feel it. It can make me sick. If it's not a good energy, it affects my energy field. And yes, grounding, going into the ocean, going into the creek, going into, not a chlorine pool, like a salt pool, grounding mats, turning your bed into a med bed. I'll be talking about that later, because I'm working on that with my, even though we're the med beds, all of us are the med beds, but really, setting my sanctuary up in my room where I spend 8 hours a night sleeping, really getting that to where it's going to help increase my frequency. And I'll be talking about that. I'll be showing pictures about it and videos on it. But I want to get into this next thing, Sister Honey, because this is powerful, and you talk about this a lot. We do talk about it. And I want to show this beautiful graphic slide first. The heart's quiet guidance. The heart speaks before the mind catches up. Wow. Yeah. Guiding without force, the sovereign feminine path. Your heart already knows the way. And, it's interesting, because this masculine energy that's really run this planet, and it really has, because when you spend trillions of dollars a year destroying people in countries, really basically at the end of the day to take natural resources, or because someone doesn't want to sell your currency or use your currency, all for reasons that most of the time for reasons that make no sense. And we could clean up the whole world for about a quarter of that, Sister Honey. Not one child going to bed hungry, thirsty, not one animal suffering, not this planet suffering. So let's talk about the heart's quiet guidance a little bit, and how people need to listen to their heart more. Because you were talking, I was reading your Nexus body and going through. You see, I even responded back. You were bringing that into the into the Ascension Mastery. You've been dropping fire in there. You drop it into the free community, but you've been dropping. You and my son have been dropping some fire into Ascension Mastery too, besides the free community.
Yeah.
But we're talking about it comes down here, and it's going here, right, in the gut. Explain that and talk a little bit about how people listen to their heart more, which is more right than pretty much anything else.
Yeah, so the heart has brain matter in it, and it has a lot of brain matter, and it also is a vortex. So when someone, passes away and they have a human heart, it rolls out. So it's basically a vortex, because it can be taken apart and it turns out it's in a big long roll. And so it's pumping and it's a vortex. So it's creating energy. It's creating your energetic field. It's creating your toroidal field. And that nexus body is another part of the brain. You know how when your gut tells you what to do? So your nexus body and your heart are basically speaking, and your gut is picking it up, because there's a lot of brain matter also in the gut. So it's really important to listen, because the mind can kind of twist everything, and the ego can get more into the mind than it does in the gut. The gut will tell you the truth, and that's what you want to follow, and that's what's affected by your heart. So your heart is talking to the gut, and listen to it. If your stomach drops, then don't do it, whatever it is. Don't go on that date with that person, or don't take that job. If your gut tells you no, listen to it. And that's kind of, that's the instinctual part of your body. Your body always knows, because your body listens to your soul a lot faster than your mind does.
Yeah.
So that's really important, because the heart is going to be how we lead our lives from now on.
Yeah, and it's interesting, and I'm going to go over some of these talking points, and we're talking about them now. But it's interesting what you said about that. It doesn't feel good to do icky stuff. It doesn't feel good to not have integrity and honesty and transparency and be righteous and do what's right. It's interesting. My daughter Jennifer, who I love so much, and my wife Cindy, soulmate for many lifetimes. Back in early 2000s, they said to me, they said, Jimmy, you're so much smarter than all these people making millions of dollars. And they're doing scams, you know what I mean? Some kind of scam. They said, you're too nice, and they've changed, but they said this to me, you're too nice, you're too trusting, you're too honest, you're too this. And I said, well, if I'm too that, I don't belong here, which I don't anyways. I'm just here to do my part and helping us all, do my part of the puzzle. Just like Sister Honey's here to do her part, my son's here to do his, and you all are here to do yours. But I do feel in this energy that dishonesty is not going to make it. People need to understand, if you attack Sister Honey or myself or my son Tommy or your family members or other people on the internet, it's coming back at you. It's almost like instantaneous karma now, Sister Honey. I've never seen it happen before. I can see somebody, getting into a scuttle, and by the afternoon, the karma's coming on.
And that's part of the fifth dimension too, is instant karma, instant manifestation. And that's why we had to spend so long trying to kind of figure it out and heal and let go of a lot of stuff, because we're manifesting all the time. And if you manifest in a negative way, it's going to be really painful. If you're manifesting an illness or, something to happen that's not nice. So it's really important to pay attention to your words and your mind right now, and let your heart lead.
Yeah, it's that, the heart speaks before the mind catches up. Mm-hmm. Guiding without force, the sovereign feminine path. We need more feminine. It's coming. That energy is hitting. I can feel it myself, because Brother Jimmy's been a warrior in many lifetimes. I'm a tough dude. I was raised really hard by my father, who was abused both physically and sexually. I didn't know that until I was 17 and a half. I said this publicly before, but I had no idea. I had no idea that was going on. He definitely beat the living what out of me. But at the end of the day, we need more of that feminine energy, and it's coming, and I can feel it. And it's a great thing. I'm so excited about it, because this masculine energy is killing this planet. It's killing the people, and all of that is shifting, and it's turning around. And again, they're going to kick and scream all the way. Like Sister Honey said, they don't want people to go into the 5D mentally. They don't want you connecting there. They're doing everything in their power. So one of the reasons why we're this energy band and the disc, and we got the link in the description, is because I am protecting myself against the frequency attack. My son did an unbelievable post on 5G EMF radiation. I couldn't, and all, by the way, third-party validation, all studies, and he had it in an infographic. And he sent it to me, and I was looking at it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like even beyond where, even worse than what I thought. And now they're getting ready to go 6G, and the satellites in the space and the AI in the space. All of this stuff is going to get harmonized in the future, but there's going to be a period of time that it is not harmonized, and it is very, very potent in having a bad, effect on you. So you got to protect yourself about it. But you said something. Your heart. This is another talk about your heart already knows the way, and what you said, Sister Honey, is because it's connected to your soul.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever that nexus thing is, and I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but it makes a lot of sense to me. And I've heard before that just like the Bible, where we had Enoch, apparently 366 books, you can only get your hands on about 3 of them, and they didn't even want those 3 out. Okay, 366 of them is what I've heard. Maybe Sister Honey can confirm, what she's hearing from
That
her
feels
house.
right. Yeah, it feels
366. Right. And these are the manuals of the life, the manuals of life. And where are they? Maybe buried down in the Vatican vault or somewhere.
Yeah, and I think they also have the Alexandria Library. I think they took it and it's under the Vatican. But is it really under there anymore? Not all of it. Some of it's been moved. So, and they're not in control of those buildings anymore. So I'm excited to see what comes out.
Yeah, me too. And so the other one was trusting your quiet inner voice, and we talked about that. It's so important that you start to listen to your gut, because your heart is giving that information to your gut. And Sister Honey just told you that the heart has actual brain matter in it. I mean, your body is intelligent. Every cell is intelligent. You are powerful. You're made in the Creator's image.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Yahushua, right?
Yeah, totally. Every cell looks like a city if you look at it.
Every cell like the city. It's
yeah.
Powerful. So now we're going to go to the next segment, which is we're going to talk about the experiencing expansive ease, because I think that a lot of people, they really don't. So experiencing expansive ease is not the absence of effort, it is alignment. When you step into your truth, the field opens. So ease is not the absence of effort, it's alignment. When you step into your truth, the field opens. So important. Feeling the gentle expansion of who you truly are. What is ready to be expressed with ease. I mean, isn't that so important that we're actually getting to, why are we here? Who are we? Where have we been before? Mm-hmm. All of that's starting to come to people.
Yeah. Yeah, you're starting to see people also begin to just go with the flow and to actually allow to have life be created for them, and have it be beautiful. And that's because they're in faith. They have faith that the universe has their back, that their soul is going to take care of them. And they're getting rid of the things that are in the way of that. So they're clearing their shadows. They're taking care of energy if it's not good in their house. Like, people are really learning how to handle all of this stuff and navigate it, even if we can't really see it yet. Because a lot of the energy, we can't see it, we just feel it, So then we do something about it, which is brilliant.
Yeah, and the more you step into your truth, the more this stuff starts to flow easier for you. The more that you deal with these things that are continuing to come back around, that all of us sometimes just want to procrastinate and not deal with, the more you do that, the more you're going to be into this flow, and you just let this go. And again, I don't, myself personally now, I don't really worry about too much of anything. And if it does come in, what I always say to myself is that if this thought does not serve my highest purpose, I lovingly let it go and turn it into pure energy. If this thought is not from me, I lovingly return it to sender. And I got to tell you, You know, when you started talking about that about a year ago, you were telling people, I started implementing that. Like, you know, when you were saying, started implementing it. Wow, how it starts to lower the noise in the mind. And the mind is very noisy for most people,
Mhm.
but it really helped me tremendously.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, the mind can be absolutely chaotic, and it's not good for your body if your mind is just totally running all the time. And that's not where we want to be anymore. But the more things you clear, the quieter the mind becomes. And then you can just be. And then you can see everything. You can see the next sign that's taking you to the next part of your journey that's going to take you even further. Like, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, and one of the things that I was, you know, that I taught my son Tommy, and he says this is that you need to ask for course correction. You need to be, you know, give gratitude for course correction, because believe me, the divine will course correct you, and it's a lot gentler if you ask him for it.
Hmm.
You know, where you keep doing what you're supposed to be not supposed to be doing, and all of a sudden the divine has to course correct you. You might get hammered, but guess what? When you ask for it and you're great, well, just be gratitude, give thanks for it. You know, don't ask, thank. That's what I try to tell people. Don't ask, thank, and thank it like it's already done.
Yeah.
And it's like today, I didn't see brother Bruno, at the beach for the last couple of days, and I was calling him in as I was in the ocean. Well, as soon as I walked up to the front, there he was, laying by the sign. He seen Brother Jimmy come running to me. He got some good chicken, some good breast meat chicken for this morning. But, you know, it's so important that you understand that you want to feel good. You got to maintain feeling good so that like your magnet is so powerful right now, all of us. You got to be careful what you're saying about yourself.
Hmm.
Stop calling all these things that don't serve your highest purpose. If it doesn't serve your highest purpose, it shouldn't come out of your mouth.
Yeah,
Should
I totally agree with that, Jimmy. We don't
I've been
want to say
watching.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Sister Honey.
Well, we just don't want to say that stuff because, if you're owning something, if you're saying, I am this, or if somebody told you that you are that, and then you agree with them, if it's not in your highest good, let that go. Don't let them have power over who you are. You can shift anything. I don't know if any of you guys have ever had a lucid dream, but if you are in a lucid dream, you can change the ending. You know you're dreaming, you're fixing it along the way. And you can be doing that with your life. But we have to concentrate on it and pay attention.
And ask for that course correction.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask, thank for that course correction. Thank for it. Just be thankful for it because you need it. My son said when he started doing that, it changed everything for him, right? It changed it all because the divine knows you're serious. Just like I know you're coming out with your second book. Your first book's been great. Everybody should get Sister Honey's first book. Sister Honey, let's make sure we put that in the
Okay.
descriptions. But also, she's coming out with another book. I'm coming out with one that ain't going to be real favorable in the indoctrinational side of the equation with religion. And again, I love everybody. I don't care what religion you're in, as long as you're doing what's right for people and yourself, and you're kind and you're loving and you're caring, and you do what Yahushua said. You have unconditional love. You know, people always, I see people insulting people and tearing people up and telling them they're going to hell and all of that. That wasn't who people called Jesus. There was no J, and that his name was Yahushua. But that wasn't what Yahushua taught, or Buddha taught, or any of these ascended masters taught, or the Essenes taught, or the Gnostics taught, that they butchered so that and what Sister Honey said, the Alexander Library had everything in it at one time. And what they do, they burned it down. Now they took that information because their ego, they want to hold it. They don't want anybody else to have it. But at the end of the day, you know, we all got to speak the truth, because when we're speaking the truth and we're being honest and loving and caring, and we're not going out there brutalizing people with our words, casting spells on ourselves and on others, your life's going to transform right in front of your eyes. You can come back and put the comments in this video where we're telling you about it and let us know, because I love seeing what's going on in that community, Sister Honey. And I want to talk about that before we go into the next segment a little bit. Show a little thing here, an image about step into your power, and even step into your power. When you look at the numerology, when you look at when the domain was originally created, when you look at when I purchased the domain back in 2022, all the numerology, the gematria, and everything, my son did it. I was blown away. And it wasn't something that I even at that time knew. I didn't know any of that. I just, my son Tommy, he's Mr. Decoder, not just in this lifetime, in every lifetime that he's ever been in. And it's interesting, Sister Honey, you were talking about the gifts. So me and him have to be careful, because we know what each other are thinking. And with you too, it's same with us, because we've been in this posse quite a long time, in multiple lifetimes, working on bringing more people to the light. And it's interesting. You got to be very careful that you respect that other person's thoughts, and that you're picking up on their thoughts before they even speak.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember I just had like an upgrade in my gifts, and I was thinking about somebody. And then all of a sudden I was in their kitchen and they were cooking, and I had just like remoted in, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't ask if I could be here. I have to get out of here. So I left, I took my consciousness back, but it's really interesting what we're capable of. And the senses of the body are not that good, really, right? But they are improving. And with our consciousness, as we allow the consciousness to continue to grow within us, then we're going to be doing really amazing things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting you said that about, like remote viewing or being in more than one place at the same time. When I was working with the Lama before he went to I guess if you said that, if you were compared it to Star Wars, you have the Force, the good and the dark, what kind of the dark side of the energy. I actually had people that were part of the community that seen him in three different locations, in different states and everything at the same time. This is incredible. I mean, the abilities that we truly have as these energies continue to increase, and what they call junk DNA continues to open up, and it's not junk. The divine don't build things with junk in it. Everything has a purpose. They call it that because they don't want anybody to step into their power. They don't want it. They don't want them to. They want everybody to be dumbed down. They want everybody to follow the rules, run on the hamster wheel, do what we say, you know what I mean? And that's it. They don't want people to take it to the level that they are here to take it to. But that's all changing. They can't stop it. Mm-mm. They can't stop
it. And they're disappearing. They're disappearing in droves, these people. And the beings that were supporting that are gone. So it's kind of like the rug was pulled out from under them, and some of them don't really know it yet. And some of them, a lot of them are just actors in a play at this point. But it's a really beautiful time to be alive. I'm really excited to see how things continue to shift. And I'm just enjoying every moment, even the bad moments. Like last week was nuts. And I really tried to just enjoy it because I knew it was happening. and we were clearing big things. And most of the time, I was fine. So, really concentrate on what we're doing in the moment.
Well,
Yep.
this next segment, you're going to love this. And I think everybody's going to love this. And hopefully, so far, folks, you've loved what we've talked about. You know, can put comments in there. And again, if you're on Step Into Your Powers YouTube, we'll get to them. Okay. Sister Honey gets so many comments. She don't even know what to do with all these comments. There's so many of them. She'd
I
be
try,
sitting
you
there.
guys. I love you.
She'd be sitting there all day long she'd have to stay up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to handle, those
Yeah.
comments. Is a lot. So let me put up the next segment, sensing abundance as a natural state. Again, sensing abundance and not just money, wealth, but abundance in every single area of your life.
Yeah.
So the feeling of abundance as an energetic state, receiving the energy of inherent wholeness, connecting with the natural flow of well-being, embracing your right to an abundant living. Talk about that a little bit, Sister.
Well, for me, it means health and happiness and abundance with whatever money or means of exchange we may be using at that point. And it's all about feeling like life is pretty easy, because right now life is pretty easy. It's becoming that way, but we haven't all stepped into that yet. So I think that's what I see is it's there for you. Are you willing to let go of the baggage of the past to step into the future that's more easy, beautiful, happy, fun? Yeah.
And the past will hold you back. Again, I'm looking at one of our businesses right now, and my son and Tommy, he's part of it. He's learning it. Tommy's super smart. I mean, Sister Honey will tell you, super, super smart. I think he tested with his IQ like 149. It was incredible. But
He's great. Yeah.
yeah, he's wonderful. But I'm teaching him the business, right? And we're going through everything. And there's some decisions that I've been putting off and putting off and putting off. And at the end of the day, when you put these things off, you stop the growth. You stop the growth. You stop it. It stops. And like I said, I'm like all of you, I'm going through my things. I had a wild week, last week too, watching my poor wife suffer. Thank goodness for the prayer request in Step Into Your Power. I mean, I could tell you the way she was suffering. I was taking her to the hospital every day for pain in her stomach. And I put a prayer request in the stepintoyourpower.com, and I could watch within a few hours what happened to her. Was
Yeah.
wonderful. So power in prayer is amazing. When people start sending you their energy, whether they're a Reiki person or they're praying and declaring, decreeing, and they got that relationship with the divine and they're thanking for it, whatever. But when you've got a lot of people doing that for somebody, it makes a big impact. So I was the front row seat to her suffering, which isn't really something that makes me feel good, but I also was an observer of it. And what I said to her is, don't call it in. Don't call it in. And we have a beautiful person in Step Into Your Power. I'm not going to say who it is, but they just put a testimonial in on for Sister Honey, myself, and Tommy in the community. What it's done for them. They were calling in all of their sickness over and over and over again. And sometimes Brother Jimmy's a little blunt when he teaches, because I love you folks and we want to help you. We really truly want to help you. But when I seen that testimonial of a total 180 in this person's health and well-being, it works. I mean, for goodness gracious, it works. And you just got to be very careful of what's coming out of here and what you're doing up here. and dissolve that stuff. If it ain't serving your higher purpose, dissolve it. If it ain't serving your higher purpose, shut it. If it ain't serving your higher purpose, don't do it, because karma's coming back in the same day almost now. I'm seeing it happen to a lot of different people that don't want to let go of, they want to fight.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not going to have that abundance in all areas of your life if you're battling with everybody. Sister Honey?
Well, we're getting into more unity, more unity consciousness. And that doesn't mean that you're the same as everybody. Like, you still have your own personality. We're not a bunch of little clones of each other. But we're realizing that we're talking to a different version of ourselves. And we're not blaming each other for everything anymore and judging in such a harsh way, because source, or whatever you want to call the massive consciousness that we live inside of, is not interested in that anymore, because it's basically an autoimmune disease. We have been fighting with each other since the beginning of consciousness being birthed with individuality out of source. So we're not doing that anymore. The whole universe has shifted. The multiverse has shifted. And everything is shifting for the better right now. And we'll still disagree with people. But you'll also say, okay, well, I'm going to try and see your side, and you're going to try and see my side. And we're going to try and figure out whether it's going to work or not. And maybe it won't work between you. And you'll be able to say, okay, well, I don't think it's going to work between us. Our perspectives are too different. But I love you, and, I'll see you sometime. And there's not going to be all that built up animosity, because we'll realize we're responsible for our own feelings. So everything is changing right now.
Well, and a lot of people don't embrace their right to abundant living. They feel like they don't deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
You do deserve it. You deserve first of all, it's already there for you.
Yeah.
It's there for you. But are you at the right frequency in order to receive it? Everything you could want, everything. I mean, I marvel, and again, nothing that I'm stewarding belongs to me. Everything belongs to the divine. I'm just stewarding it. And based on stewardship will be what I'm given to steward. So the more you're a better steward of the things that you have, whether little or a lot, the more you will get, because the higher your frequency will rise with that integrity, honesty, transparency, love, unconditional love, right? Yahushua said, don't take the splinter out of your brother or sister's eye when you got a freaking log in your own. Stop judging people. Don't judge them if you are. Don't judge yourself. But as you raise your frequency, all of these things that are available for your stewardship start to come in. And as I'm looking at, where I'm at here, I mean, this is one of the most beautiful beaches on the planet. Not me saying it. The Delightful Travelers, a couple who've traveled the whole world, say Playa Poppy in Las Salinas is one of the most beautiful beaches they've ever seen. And they've been to Thailand, everywhere. And it is. And, the energy portal that's over here in Las Salinas is incredible. I mean, it's like, I've been coming here now 3 years. It's lit up. And I've already seen the vision of all these people, spiritual people, all over this place. This being one of the larger cities in the world, where really true folks are dedicated to helping as many souls as possible actually ascend this time. Because again, Sister Honey told you earlier, we've been here and done it over and over and over again and again, and it's been stopped, and there's been a little bit of people. Yahushua also said, and what he meant was when he said the gate to hell is broad. And when he said hell, what did he mean? A lot of people could tell you they're living in hell right now, right here on earth. You create hell for yourself. You create everything in your life, you created it. And the gate to heaven is very narrow and few pass through it. Well, what is that? That's heaven. Heaven's in you, heaven's around you. You're creating heaven. So it's not about being condemned to hell or left out of heaven. That was a teaching that people took, again, out of context and started flipping around, where the real true thing is you can have heaven right now.
Yeah, right now.
Right now.
And the people that don't believe that and can't get into that frequency are the ones that are going, and they will ascend without their body. So they're just transitioning out. So because we have to upgrade the human body and go back to its original blueprint, we're staying here in the body and we're making sure that it upgrades and is the beautiful body that it was intended to be. So healthier, longer lived, beautiful, happy body is where we're going. And you'll be able to heal your body just like that in the future. So that's why we're here. That's what we're doing. We're basically ascending the human race. And because we're doing that, the body has to be ascended too.
Yes. And you know, it's interesting because we're actually touching on this right now, which is connecting with clear flow and harmony. That's our next segment. We got one more after this, so we're going to be about another 10 minutes. But is that not important? Connecting with clear flow and harmony, clear communication as a pathway to truth, a harmonious flow between inner and outer worlds, feeling the alignment of your intentions and manifestations, and what is ready to flow with grace in your life. Think about that and put in the comments what you feel is ready to flow with grace in your life. But talk a little bit about your thoughts on that, Sister Honey, because I mean, we've been touching on it, you know, in previous segments here, but let's dig into it for a few minutes here.
Well, in order to be in grace, it means that you're trusting your soul to show you the way, you know, and I've been doing that in increasing ways over the last 10 years. And it's all been about trying to listen and then do the things that my soul is asking me to do. And now it's just like a dance, you know, it's very easy. I always know whether my soul is saying yes to that or no to that. And it's a beautiful thing. And it changes your whole life. So if you can do that, if you can relax and get into grace and just listen. And sometimes you may need to go sit with a tree to do that. Or sometimes you may need to listen to your body or listen to your gut. But when you get the information, follow it. And it is life-changing completely.
Yeah, it's interesting where, you know, I was listening to this one person said about grounding. Oh, well, the energy is grounding. Look, if you take your blood, a sample of your blood, and you put it under a microscope, most of the cells are next to each other. They're touching each other. Mm-hmm. They're not clotted, but they're clumpy. You know, they're like connected. Yeah. If you go in your backyard on Mother Earth in your bare feet, and you stand on that ground, and then you come back in 15 minutes later and you do a blood test again, all your cells are separated, your blood cells. Mm-hmm. Mother Earth is powerful. If you're not utilizing Mother Earth, utilize her and be kind to her. Don't pollute her. Don't hurt her. You know, because if you're hurting Mother Earth, that's not good either. That's really bad karma. And that's not going to put you into the frequency to receive all your abundance in all the different areas of your life based on being in that frequency. If you don't get to that frequency, And then if you get to that frequency and you receive it and you're not a good steward of it, it'll stop. So you got to be a good steward of it also. All of the way that these people that are connected, and they're printing money and they're giving it to their friends and they're buying assets and all that, that's not what I'm talking about in any way, shape, or form. Because we have another way to get abundance, whether it's financial, health, happiness, relationships, all of that. You can have it all. Everything that you ever could imagine, you can have it. So it's so important to make sure that that you feel good and that you're doing what's right. And what Sister Honey just said, it's so important to think from, go with the heart, what the gut's saying and what the heart is telling the gut, go with that, because that won't lead you wrong. Okay. So this next segment is really important, and it is our final segment for today before we go. And it's integration and affirmation. Your inner fire is rising. It is illuminating your sovereign path. And I'm going to say something before I read these bullet points, and I'm going to hand it over to Sister Honey. Information without implementation is meaningless. I can hand you, Sister Honey can hand you the blueprint to the perfect life. And we've been talking about that tonight. But if you don't implement anything, you don't put action behind anything, you will not accomplish anything. So let me go over these talking points, and then you dig right in here, Sister Honey. Receiving the energy of the rising fire. Wow. Yeah, the fire horse is rising. Illuminating your sovereign path with grace and power, not, hurting people, right? Being powerful, but being powerful in a good way. Feeling the wisdom already living within you, holding the sacred space of emergent truth. And we kind of touched on this stuff, but let's spend a few more minutes that we have here, and let's dig into that.
So what I would do is think about it from your point of view. Think about somebody you've tried to give information to, and it seemed like it just floated away. You told them about it. Either they blocked you and said, you're crazy, or they listened and never did anything with it. And you might have given them the answer to the rest of their life. And for a lot of you guys, it's probably been somebody that you tried to awaken. So really think about that. And then think about your own perspective and things that you may be avoiding. So when someone is trying to give you really big knowledge, see if you can listen and try and pick it apart and actually ask questions of them. If it's something you feel is important for you, and you might be bypassing it. So that's what I would say. We've all tried to share information with someone, and it just seemed like the birds took it, and it never landed in their brain. So think about that, and think about your own beautiful self. And if someone comes into your life and is giving you something that's a gift, and if you have a gift to be giving to yourself, think about it and think about how you can implement it if that gift is going to take you to a higher level. And that could be doing Qigong during the day. That could be taking a walk with your bare feet. That could be someone telling you this is how you can structure your divine project to help humanity. But whatever it is, really think about it and think about how you can implement it, because as you implement, you are growing. You're basically creating a stairway to a higher timeline for yourself.
Yeah, it's powerful. It's super powerful. I mean, it really is. And this is only going, Sister Ronnie said something in the beginning about we're in a lull right now. If you look at it, it's settled a little bit, but it ain't for long, because this is going to continue to come until this shakes it out. It shakes it out. It's part of the crumbling. It's part of the shaking out of who's going to rise and to ascend. And we're going to, by the way, when we're done here, I'm going to close this tonight with the 144,000 awakening. If you didn't hear that, this is a song. It's just listen to the words and understand 144,000 awakening is the 144,000 is, it's way more than that. Okay. So don't think there's a specific number, because it's way more than that. You can be that 144 is a very powerful number, and it's way more than that, okay? But it's so important that you step into your power, you understand that you are made in the image of the divine, the creator. Universe to me is too small, God to me is too small. The Tao says you can't even name it. You can't name it. But everything's in it. It's in everything. Everything's made of it. It knows it's having unlimited experiences simultaneously, infinite amounts. Because if you don't have the experience, you don't get the data, the knowledge, and you don't do the optimization. All of our souls' job is to what? Have more experiences to get the data, the knowledge, in order to continue to optimize, right? We're all here to optimize, to move forward, to step into your power. That's what you're here for. If you want to, because again, information without implementation doesn't mean anything. You won't move forward if you don't implement. And that's what I love. Again, before we go tonight, and we end with this song, one, I want to show you this last beautiful slide. The portal remains open to you. You can join the free community at stepintoyourpower.com. If you want to help protect your energy body and protect your nervous system from all of these frequency attacks, you can go to bodyline.com/power. It's also in the description below. And they also are the biggest supporter of the community. And Brother Jimmy is involved in them. I'm just going to tell you, I've been involved in that company since 2016. And so really important to also be doing, we're all going to be more held accountable for where we're putting our resources. Okay. So we got to be real careful where we're putting our resources too. And again, come on over into Step Into Your Power. We love you all very much. So Sister Honey, before we go, you want to say goodbye to everybody, and then I want to go ahead and put this song on, and you and I will disappear from the camera, and we'll let the song play.
Yeah, I just want to say that I love you guys, and you are so loved by the universe, the creator, all the words, and you're all a part of each other. So, and we just love hanging out with you guys.
Yep.
So we'd love to see you in the community. I think that the community is going to grow so much, and you're going to find people in your local area. So that really excites me, to not only be online, but to also be with people in person, because it feels so amazing. And I just hope that you guys have the best day and enjoy this song. It is amazing.
I love you all too very much. Go ahead and enjoy this song.
Yeah. I felt it in my spirit before I knew the words. A quiet kind of calling only heaven heard. Like I was marked by a light I could not see, but it was always breathing life through me. Try to fit in, try to lay low, but there was fire in my bones I would not let go. Then I read the truth and it opened my eyes. Ephesians 6:12 made me realize we wrestle now with flesh and blood, but powers moving in the unseen flood. Principalities in hidden places, spiritual warfare in higher spaces. It's not what you see, it's what you feel. A battle in realms that are very real. On the astral plane where shadows move, trying to pull us out of our truth. But when we rise in harmony and lift our frequency, dark to flee. 144,000 called, chosen by the Most High, standing tall. We shine so bright they cannot stay. Low vibrations fade away. This is honor, this is power, this is our appointed hour. We were born to build a new earth. 144,000 know your worth. Yeah. Being chosen is not a crown, it's responsibility when the world falls down. Great power means we serve with love, guided by the Spirit from above. We came to awaken the sleeping hearts, break the hypnosis, tear lies apart. They use the screens and the sound and the fame to keep the masses small and tame. But once that spell begins to break, you feel your soul start to wake. You take your energy back again, no longer feeding a broken system. We teach you how to guard your mind, how to leave that fear behind, how to raise your tone so high no falling floors can come nearby. When lower entities reach for light, they dissolve in the presence of what is right. Because when the elect stay aligned, darkness cannot cross that line. So lift your hands, purify thought, remember the truth you were always taught. You are not weak, you are not small, there is a reason you feel this call. 144,000 rise, fire of heaven in your eyes. We do not fight with hate or fear, our frequency makes the pathway clear. This is honor, this is power, this is our appointed hour. We were born to heal the earth. 144,000 know your worth. If you feel that stirring deep, like your soul can never sleep, like you were sent for such a time to help humanity realign. We are building something higher, a global wave of holy fire. Come awaken, take your vow. Yeah. Join the highest vibrational spiritual community in the world. Yeah. Step into your power.com. 144,000 strong. Yeah. This is where you belong. Step into your power.com. 144,000 strong. This is where you belong. Step into your power.com.